Hey, burgers and fries and real cool guys. I'm filming. Sorry. Text you back. Hey everybody, my name is John and welcome to ADITW, a day in the Word, the internet's favorite Bible study. Today is the beginning of a brand new journey. Today is the beginning of a brand new book. Today is the beginning of a brand new life, a brand new life. Today we begin our study of the Old Testament book of 1 Kings. LeBron James. And as with any book that we study, we always want to start by understanding the context of the book, understanding the genre, understanding the author, understanding when, where, why it was written. Context is imperative. So the genre of this book, 1 Kings, it is historical / theological literature. Specifically here, we're talking about the history of Israel, or what theologians would call Deuteronomistic history. Deuteronomistic. 6 syllables? The date of this book covers a period of about 400 years between 960 and around 560 BC. The authorship of this book is unknown. It is up for debate. However, something that we should keep in mind is that historical authors in ancient times did not write for the purpose of being as historically accurate as possible, but rather they wrote about the past in order to help us understand and illuminate the present. They were more about making points than they were about getting all the specific details right. And the theme or purpose of this book is to continue to tell the story of God's people, the Israelites, specifically following David's line. At the very beginning of this book, we will see the end of the life of King David and the beginning of the reign of Solomon. So this book is very connected with previous books such as Joshua, Judges, and 1st and 2nd Samuel. It's a continuation of these stories. So we're kind of hopping right into the middle of the story right here. But as you all know, today we are going to study 1 Kings chapter 1. And I'm actually going to ask you to read the whole chapter today. It's a long one, but I believe in you. I'll be praying for you as you go and do it. So why don't you read for me right now, 1 Kings chapter 1. So as we said before, here in 1 Kings chapter 1, we sort of hop right into the middle of a story where King David, he's old, he's lived his life, and he is about to die. And now, what is up for debate is who's going to be the next king of Israel after David. But what we know, if we have read our Bibles thoroughly, is that God has already chosen Solomon as king over Israel after David. But there's this guy named Adonijah, and Adonijah is a real go-getter. So he decides that he's gonna take matters into his own hands, and he's gonna set himself up to be king, regardless of what God has said. And so Adonijah begins to hatch this plot, where he is gonna set himself up as the next king over Israel, regardless of what David, regardless of what the elders, regardless of what Solomon has said, and especially regardless of what God has said. Adonijah is here to set himself up. And if you read the rest of Adonijah's story here in chapter 1, you know that it doesn't end very well for him. And that's because setting yourself up for anything outside of God's will means setting yourself up for failure. Adonijah here, he is taking matters into his own hands, and he's not even considering the will of God in what he does. And when we do not consider the will of God, when we make our own will our idol, we are setting ourselves up to fail because God is going to do what God is going to do. And so the question that I want us all to ask ourselves today is, where are you setting yourself up in your life right now? Where are you perhaps trying to take matters into your own hands and you're not really concerned with the will of God? For me, I know I do this all the time. I do this by trying to set myself up as the best speaker or best Bible communicator at a conference that I might go to. I do this by trying to set myself up as the most important or most interesting person in my family or amongst my friends because I do professional ministry. I do this all the time in my finances, where I try and set myself up as financially secure rather than simply trusting in God's provision for my life. And you see, the reality is not only do we set ourselves up for failure when we set ourselves up outside of God's will, but we also miss out on God's will itself. We also miss out on the fact that God has already set you up for an incredible future. God has already set you up for an incredible purpose in your life. And so the only position that we should be seeking to put ourselves in, not only this week, but for the rest of our lives, is in alignment with God's will, to allow whatever He has set up for us to be our path. Hello friends, thank you so much for watching this episode of ADITW. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it helped you build your faith. I hope it helped you to set yourself up right in the middle of God's will. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know why you enjoyed it. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to support what we're trying to do on this channel, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. That will also be linked down below. For just $1 a month, you can help this ministry grow and reach more and more people around the world, provide Bible curriculum and Bible study to people who might not be able to get it at their local church because maybe they don't even have a local Christian church in their country. So if this is a mission, if this is a ministry you believe in, please check out the Patreon link down below and become a patron today. As for right now, that's all I have for you. I love you all. I'll see you next week right here on ADITW. Keep being awesome.